Imagine your future. Do you see smoke-filled skies with people walking around with diseases caused by pollution and polluted waterways that we can't even swim in? Or do you see clear, sunny skies with innovative technologies such as electric-powered cars and fresh air that you can breathe in? Now, hopefully you all chose number two. When we make this choice, we have to think about not only us, but the younger generations, future generations to come. With decreasing non-renewables, increasing pollution, and pollution-caused diseases, alternative energy is the best option for our future. And as a start for this, we can't exactly go straight to alternative energy, so we have to find ways to reduce our pollution and find small ways to make a bridge towards that alternative energy. Now, the things I'm going to talk about today are pollution, our progress towards alternative energy so far, and the future of alternative energy. Now, to the problem of pollution. Now, as we all know, if we've watched the news or any such media station, pollution causes climate change. Now, that climate change can lead to many health concerns, such as heat waves, floods, drought, diseases, and pandemic. Now, air pollution causes diseases such as respiratory diseases, obesity, diabetes, coronary heart disease, and it also increases the rate of stroke just by having all of that pollution in the air, along with smog and stuff like that. And if you've all ever driven to Cincinnati or someplace like that, you can always read the sign where it says smog warning. You guys have ever seen that? And not only is this affecting our air, but it's also affecting our waterways. So in 2013, the Ohio River was ranked the most polluted river in the country. Now, I don't know about many of you, but I wouldn't want to swim in a river that was the most polluted river in the country. There were 23.2 million pounds of chemicals dumped in there by a company right here in Indiana. And we can do something about that. We can push our government to lower the amount that they are allowed to dump into those rivers so we don't have that risk of catching diseases in a river like that. Now, another thing that we have to worry about when making the switch to alternative energy is the places with aging infrastructure, such as New Hampshire, which has aging infrastructure, and they pay 53% more than the national average for their energy. And if you guys have been in Brookville, we don't exactly have the up-to-date infrastructure, so obviously we pay more for that. And what they're kind of pushing towards is natural gas, because it's not that it doesn't push out as many emissions as oil or coal, and it's a lot cheaper in the long run if you pay for the infrastructure to be able to do it. And our progress so far, we have medical institutions all around the country that are trying to lower the emissions that they put out, because why would they want to cause these diseases with the pollution caused by, or the diseases caused by pollution such as respiratory diseases, when they have to cure it anyways? Why should they profit from these diseases that are caused by it? Also, as I said, natural gas, which is an easy bridge to alternative energy and is more affordable in the long run as long as you pay for that infrastructure, because we can't exactly make the full push towards that alternative energy yet, and natural gas is readily available. And for a future of this alternative energy, companies such as Tesla, which you have all heard of, and Solar City is starting to make progress towards making self-powered roads on interstates, and they practice on that more of the Southwest. And that's for electric cars. As you drive down the interstate, the solar panels on the side of the road will charge up your car, and you won't even have to stop for gas, and that would help a lot on family road trips. Also, what we have to think about this alternative energy stations and what they would help with for our future. They would create maintenance jobs, not only for the stations, but also for these electric cars that I'm sure not many people know about their engines. And it would cause less diseases, so we want to have those respiratory diseases, that higher rate of stroke and the coronary heart disease caused by this pollution. And also we have to think about the low cost of energy. Sure, it would be hard at first to start this up, but in the long run, everybody would save loads of money, especially that town in New Hampshire and places here like Brookville with aging infrastructure. So now it's your turn. Since you know the imminent future, you need to push your government to heighten emission regulations and stop waste dumping. Also, push companies to make the change to natural gas because it's much cheaper, pushes out far less emissions. And also do the little things that you can do, such as carpool, bike, and walk, just to save from the extra emissions that you put out from driving on your own. Thank you. Oh, yeah, questions. My bad. Coming back up. Oh, Rebecca.
So you mentioned pollution leading to diseases, and I can understand the respiratory side, but I believe you mentioned obesity. How
Yeah.
can that, how can pollution
Yeah,
lead to that?
they didn't exactly explain that. They didn't elaborate on it. But the article was written by 2 doctors. So I kind of just rolled with that. Trusted them there. Professional. I'm sure they know which way, how it's like tied to obesity. And I didn't understand exactly the, so what else was it? The diabetes too. I didn't see how it would be tied to that, but Joe.
Can you try to make a connection?
Can I
If
try
you
to
had
make-
to
If I,
had to guess a connection between pollution
air
and
pollution.
those diseases?
And those diseases. Well, I don't know, maybe is there trouble breathing tied to obesity? Maybe that would be my connection that I would make in between it, because I can't exactly think of anything else.
So you talk about how this could affect Brookville and our crumbling infrastructure. Is there an actual solution for us here in our small town, Brookville? Like, could this really be effective for us here?
Well, if we push our government to, sort of get the new infrastructure in here and help out, maybe give some grants or things like that, and in the long run, that would help everybody pay less for their energy. I mean, because I have a neighbor that currently pays $300 a month for their energy bill because of how bad their infrastructure is.
Do you think the way that this country is progressing, like right now, the first scenario you mentioned in your introduction, do you think that's where we're headed?
Yeah, if we keep using these non-renewable energies and pushing out all the smoke, I mean, big cities already have that problem. Unless we improve the technology that we currently have, and we could keep using these non-renewables as long as we improve technology to the point where we don't put out that many emissions.
You keep referencing Cincinnati, obviously because it's close, but what about the big cities like New York? How bad are they compared to how Cincinnati is?
See, well, a lot worse because it's a very much larger city. They need more power, and you still have those coal plants there and stuff like that that push out the emissions because obviously New York's going to take a lot more power than Cincy is. It's not as big of a city. So it would affect it a lot more. There'd be more smog warnings.
So it's like our United States government trying to go for the bigger cities instead of the smaller ones right now? Or
Yeah.
they're just not doing anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, if you drive north towards Chicago, you'll see all the wind farms up there that they have towards Chicago because you need more of the better power there to keep the air cleaner.
All right.